Hello everyone, we're back again by popular demand, of course. We are the Rebel Retrospective. I'm Tommy.
And I'm Kayla.
And welcome to the show.
Yeah. This week we are doing something a little different because I finally finished all 7 seasons of Once Upon a Time.
All 7 seasons of Once Upon a Time. It took you long enough. I finished it like a month or two ago. But,
I started rewatching it after you, okay? That's on you.
So we are going to do our first proper retrospective.
Oh yeah.
On Once Upon a Time.
Wow.
How long has it taken us? 10 episodes? Are we finally actually living up to our namesake?
Something like that. Anyways. First up, I'd like to say I don't know how they got 7 seasons out of this concept.
It's very obvious that they didn't get 7 seasons out of this concept.
They really didn't. They got
But we'll get to that.
They got 3, and then the last 4 are well, we'll talk about the last 4 in a bit.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start at the beginning.
Sure.
Once Upon a Time season 1.
Fantastic.
Which arguably I don't think it gets better than season 1 at any point.
Oh, I don't know.
think it.
I don't know.
Just the whole the mystery where it's it could all not be real, but we know it's real, but they don't know it's real. That's the only. I know it happens in the future, but this is the only time that it feels natural. Because they just keep rehashing it over and over again.
I mean...
But, in Season 1, it's really good.
Yeah, no, the concept is the best in Season 1. I definitely give you that.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk for a second about costuming. Because, of course I would. Why wouldn't I? So, the thing about the way that they've done the costumes in this is that obviously you have, the real world, the land without magic, which is our world, and it's...
Yes.
Very obvious, just Misk somewhere in the mid-2010s modern dress. Absolutely fine. We're not going to talk about that. I do like the motif of the red jacket, which
the red leather jacket.
Yeah.
Which is iconic. I hadn't
really
realised
is.
it's the red jacket and the yellow Beetle car.
Yeah.
Those are the iconic things.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got these modern motifs going on, which I love, but more than that, the costuming that is done for the fairy tale world is really interesting because it's very obvious that they were you know what, we're just gonna make it look pretty. Who cares about any kind of historical accuracy? It's a completely different world. You don't have to stick to it.
It doesn't matter. It's magic. It's fine.
Exactly, and I appreciate a costume designer who isn't trying to stick to something. So if they'd been trying to go for one particular era and then just fuck that up, then we would be having talks right now, but they didn't. They were you know what, we're just gonna make some pretty fairy tale looking dresses, and for that I commend them. I also want to say I'm really, really jealous of all the dresses. I want to wear them. Just saying.
My favourite thing about the costumes, and I've only realised this in hindsight, basically, I saw a parody musical thing of Once Upon a Time, of the first kind of 2 seasons.
Okay.
And it's really good. It's on YouTube. Once Upon a Time musical. It's really good. Anyway.
Okay.
And obviously that it's not the real cast. They've got people to pretend to be the cast. And just the fact that you can... Because basically the only thing they can do is give them the costumes.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can look at that and go, oh, that's Snow White, there's Emma, oh, there's the Queen, oh, there's Rumpel, even though they don't really look like the cast.
Yeah.
Is credit to costume design.
Yeah.
Of the show, that it's so repeatable.
Yes.
It's the cosplay situation. A good show can be good costume design, can be measured by how well you can cosplay it and people will recognize it. Because it's like iconic and unique.
Yeah. At this point, I could probably put on like a pair of jeans and like a red leather jacket, and I would get people coming up to me being like, Emma Swan.
Yeah.
Because it's a look.
I'm only disappointed that the actress who plays Emma Swan appears in other shows and stuff, and they've never once referenced the red leather jacket. Which, it's iconic, but, whatever.
It's a look.
It's just so good. It is.
I would also like to touch on, while we're talking about costumes, I would like to touch on Killian Jones.
Okay.
Because that is a whole ass man. It's just like the costume designers looked at Colin O'Donoghue and was like, you know what? We could make him a really sexy pirate. And then they did that.
Yeah.
And
a really old, sexy pirate. Yeah, exactly.
It's not that old.
Perfect. It's like 200 years old.
Oh, right,
Just a reminder.
Yeah.
He's 200 years
like
old.
200 years old, but he doesn't look that old. But he's like... you think sexy pirate, and he's exactly what comes to mind. And I respect that, Someone in the costumes department was clearly very horny for pirates, and I respect that. I respect that, You got it.
Okay, if we're doing honourable mentions,
sure.
I want to do firstly a shout out to Zelina, the Wicked Witch.
Yes.
Because I was very concerned that they just would never they would keep the green Wicked Witch look to just the fairy tales, but they don't. She's green sometimes in the real world as well. She has a normal look, but she's also green sometimes. It's great. And that's really good.
It's all about that envy, bro.
Yeah. And also, I just want to talk about Rumpelstiltskin, because we got to. And
we got to.
So, Rumpel has many, many looks.
Oh, yeah.
Many. And so his first look is his Rumpelstiltskin look. Actually, no, let's start before that. Let's start with when he's just a normal guy and he's got like a hobble stick and he's in like this really old peasant clothing. It's really good. And there's Rumpelstiltskin. He's got like his skin is like, I don't know how to, scaly.
It's kind of like, if you imagine like slightly like really big glitter. If you just put really big glitter on someone.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And so that's really good. And then he's like wearing like these very like fancy clothes because he's all fancy. And then in the real world he then gets just suits. He just has like the most well-dressed suit wardrobe.
I mean, the suits are so well fitted. Like, whoever was doing the tailoring, like, A-star, mwah, chef's kiss.
And then he when they go to Neverland, he then has a version of the Rumpelstiltskin suit, but with his Mr. Gold makeup and everything.
Yeah.
So like no makeup, and that's a good combo.
It's a good look.
And then he gets short hair at one point for no reason. Just, I guess, he cut his hair.
Yeah.
It's very strange. But, yeah, it's still a good look.
It is.
And then in the last season, let's talk about two things from last season. One is, obviously, his Rumpelstiltskin look, where he's got, like, more brighter colours in his outfit, because he's good now. So he's got, like, bright reds. It's very nice. And then, in the real world... he's in like a blue denim jacket.
Blue denim jeans.
And it's denim on denim, and you're like, yes, that's bold.
It's bold. It feels right though,
And you're like, okay, yeah, I can see it. Yeah, it's a look.
Yeah,
it's a look.
It is a look. It's a very specific look, but it's a look.
And just a last honourable mention. Not one that really needs much explanation, but just the Evil Queen.
Yeah.
Just all of her wardrobes are spot on.
God. I love the pantsuits. I love the dresses. The hair. The audacity of the hair. Just... I don't know. How did they make her hair do that? Still unsure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now that we you've brought up hair, Red Riding Hood, who kind of disappears halfway through for no real reason.
Yeah,
but,
she kind of does.
the way they do the red theming in the real world, so she's still Red Riding Hood, but not like wearing the red cloak. It's really well done with like the red hair, and a lot of her clothes are red. Just all around, good effort. Just well done. Good.
The costuming is, I think, the only consistently good thing throughout the entire 7 seasons.
Except for Rumpelstiltskin.
Apart from Rumpelstiltskin, but like that's just.
We know what
Carlyle.
actually the acting actually. Let's
okay.
Because for most part the acting's really good.
Yeah, it's not
unless
the acting that
unless you're Snow White and Charming.
Yeah.
Who lose all semblance of anything by like season 4 or 5.
Yeah, they do seem like they're kind of getting a bit. I don't know whether it's the acting or the script, though, to be honest.
I think they've just given up, the actors.
Yeah, a little bit.
They're like, I can't even with this.
Yeah.
You know, we've gone to the underworld. What is even happening anymore?
You do get that kind of sense. So
other than that, the acting is pretty on point.
Yeah.
Most of the time. I mean, it's not groundbreaking acting, but it's consistent.
And honestly, for like a running TV show like that, you don't want groundbreaking acting. You want consistent acting. So.
But Robert Carlyle is, of course, fantastic. By far the best actor on the cast.
Oh yeah.
And
it's Robert Carlyle.
Yeah, and has clearly kind of given up by the last season. But you know, he's still doing like, it's very clear that he's the bankable actor of the show.
Yeah.
And he does a really good job, and then when he's not really given much to do, he keeps being given things to do. And I don't get quite why, but he keeps being given things to do. It's just like, so there's an arc where he stops being the Dark One, and then the Dark One dagger gets destroyed, and then it turns out, oh no, wait, he's the Dark One again. Okay.
I'm like,
it's like, why? He was fine. You could have just left him be.
He was doing, like, babe, let the character development be.
And he's also, there seems to be like this running theme that Rumpelstiltskin is only good because of the dagger.
Yeah.
Like, that's I know it's like that's most of his character, to be honest. That's like his character arc, but like, just the whole of the first season is literally how good is Rumpelstiltskin even when he doesn't have magic. And then you get to season 6 and he's like, I need that dagger. And it's like, no, you don't. You literally ran the town without the dagger, just with a good pair of suits. It's all you needed was a good suit.
You just needed a good suit and, like, you know, a good suit. That's it.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Rumpelstiltskin's my favourite. What about you?
Ooh, I don't know. I think my favourite is probably Belle.
Oh, okay, that's very interesting.
Yeah, I really like her as a character because she's just... Well, firstly, I relate because, babe, stop it. And she spends so long, like, going after this guy, trying to change him, and I relate to that. And it's like, you get to a point where you're like, I don't know whether I should be, like, rooting for her to get him to change, or just ask her to stop because, babe, he's not gonna. And that's one of the reasons I really didn't like the whole, oh, he's still the Dark One, he just sucked all the darkness into the dagger thing. Because she did so much work with him, and that kind of betrayal
it just resets him back to square one, basically.
Yeah, and that's not fair on her.
Also,
and
I just wanna... Okay, so the whole point is that Belle is his true love, right? And that's why when she kisses him the first time ever, it starts removing the Dark One curse. And he's like, no, get away from me. And then that whole thing is dropped entirely. Did she stop being his true love? Is that what happened?
Or is he just, that bit more aware of it, I guess?
I know, because,
really
it's an established thing that the True Love's Kiss can remove the Dark One curse, and yet the whole final season is dedicated to how do I stop being the Dark One and die.
You let your wife be good to you, Jesus.
Yeah.
The fuck? Or I guess you could argue that it's it's just too what's the word? He's too dark for it now, and even True Love's Kiss can't.
See, I quite like Belle from the perspective that in many ways she is the techie person who goes and finds out all the information, except it's not tech, it's actually just going and reading books. And that's really good.
And I love how her instant response to anything is, I'm gonna go to the library because
I have a book for this.
Babe. Yeah.
Fantastic. Just any situation. I was reading about this.
Honestly, out of everyone, if I was in a spot of trouble, I would go to Belle because the other people might have practical knowledge,
because
Belle,
she 100% read the answer 2 hours ago.
Yeah, exactly. You turn up and you're I have this problem. She's say no more. I was literally just reading about this. Here, take the book.
Say no more. It's in this book. Oh, wait, it's been stolen. Oh. That's...
It's page 29.
Okay, so...
And I would also... My other favourite is Killian Jones.
Yes.
Because...
Who has... And also, I think, has one of the best story arcs as well.
Yes.
And, him and Rumpelstiltskin's arc, even though it doesn't actually work, okay, you know what? We will get to that because that is a bag. I will go into a ranty explaining thing about the whole Killian Rumpel thing, but
yeah, that's a Pandora's box if I ever saw one.
Yeah, we love a pirate.
We love a pirate. This is what we're hearing. So, I don't know whether I'm more attracted to Emma or Killian, and frankly, at this point, I don't care anymore. They're both very attractive people.
So, speaking of people we love and Emma and Killian and things like that, we've got to talk ships because, of course, we do. Now,
yes.
So okay, we're gonna go down the list. We're gonna kind of rate them unofficially. We're gonna give our opinions on them. So of course, to start off with, we have Emma and Hook.
Yes.
Who are fantastic. I love them.
10 out of 10 would ship again.
They were my Once Upon a Time OTP until the final season. So that's how good they were. We then have obviously Snow and Charming, who I despise with every fibre in my body.
Really?
I just hate them. I just do. I just hate. Like, Snow's alright on her own, but you know.
Oh, I think they're sweet.
You know, I just don't like how good they are, but also like how bad they are. Like, they are awful people, but they're meant to be like the goodest people.
I think that comes in the later seasons when they're like trying to make them a bit like darker, a bit edgier, and it just doesn't come across that well.
I don't think it landed with me. I don't think.
No.
But speaking of people that did land with me, Regina and Robin Hood.
Yes. Oh my
yes.
gosh, I was so happy about that because like Regina, she deserves to be happy. And he was making her happy.
And also, I am a
And-
sucker for a bow and arrow.
Ah. I mean, I know you're a whore for a bow and arrow, but still, like, that whole, like, the whole Regina Robin thing, that was
The only
gorgeous.
thing that
was just
ruined
good on
it
so many
was
levels.
Zelina. That got
fucking
messed
hell,
up as hell.
Zelina.
But it led to
It really
to
did.
something really good, but we'll get to that. So then we have obviously Rumpel and Belle,
Yeah.
who I think are pretty good. I mean, it's a bit of a roller coaster, but it ended pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, if we're looking at it as like an overarching, like, how they are, then I think that their whole relationship, kind of rocky at the beginning, and then just kind of glides very nicely into old age,
Yeah.
which I think is always sweet.
Yeah. And we've also got, of course, Henry and Cinderella. The second Cinderella. Cinderella 2. Because there's two Cinderellas.
They are.
Why?
It's just one of those things. I don't know. The last season, I remember a few weeks ago, you were like, "Yeah, season 7 is weird."
It's
And like season
wacky.
seven, weird.
But
Yeah, we got Henry and the other Ella, and I think their relationship is actually really good.
yeah,
I think it's a good example of an actual relationship, as opposed to like the sort of romanticized.
it has problems,
random
but
shit.
it's supportive. You know, they
Yeah.
argue, but they're there for each other. You know, it's good.
He's there for her kid, even when he doesn't know that it's actually his kid too.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
finally we have
Finally. There are so many more ships.
I was
okay.
going through the main ones.
Alright.
We have my favourite, the only good thing to come out of the whole Zelina situation is Robin and Alice. And they are
Thank
my
you!
favourite.
Oh my god, if you weren't going to talk about this, I was going to scream at you.
And I
because
loved them from day one,
Zelina-
and I was like, oh my god.
Yes, that is the only good thing, the best thing that came from season 7.
Yes.
Is that ship, because
Alice in Wonderland and Robin Hood the Second.
yes, and it's gay.
I want to apologise for my dog while we're here. My dog is being noisy.
I'll try and get rid of it in post, but we'll see. But yeah, Alice and Robin, so good on so many levels. I'd also like to throw in like an honorary mention of Dorothy in Red.
Yes, that's also very good.
Didn't make any sense. Didn't make any sense at all, but also I really enjoyed it. I really loved
Back
it.
to
so,
Robin and Alice.
yeah.
I loved them just because it came from nowhere. Like,
yeah.
it just happened, and I was like, oh my god, this is all I've ever been looking for in life. So,
Yeah.
I don't know if I've said this before, but Alice in Wonderland is my second favourite movie of all time.
And
The story
I am
is just
obsessed with the whole Alice thing.
it's oh my god. And firstly, just Alice in general in the show is just really good, but
yeah.
just it's just so good, and it's casual queer representation as well, because they just don't make don't make a big deal out of it. Everyone is just, yep, it's fine, we love you, it's great, just go get married. Like,
Yeah,
Robin
and
asks
there's a
Robin
really-
asks Hook. Okay, to clarify,
Yes.
just while we're here, there are two Hooks. We're not talking about normal Hook. We're talking about second Hook, new Hook, Nook,
Nook.
and they're just
My brain was like Animal Crossing.
they're
but
just like on a mission. And Robin's like, "Oh, I want to ask Alice to marry me," and he's like, "Oh my god, yes, you shall, do it."
yeah. And he's like, you know, of course I'm going to give you my blessing. I'm going to do it before I die. And she's like, you're not going to die because you're going to walk her down the aisle.
And it's like, oh
I
my
love
god,
that dynamic.
it's so.
I love the dynamic of New Hook and
Okay, so
Robin.
okay, for the listeners, I have a desktop wallpaper that is quotes from
oh my god.
like every show on Earth, and
Yep.
In like the top right hand corner, I have a Once Upon a Time section, and I have Rumpelstiltskin, and I have Emma and Hook, and then I have just the scene where the curse is lifted and Robin and Alice find each other, and Robin's like, I told you I'd always find you, and I found you. And it's like, yes!
Yeah. And it's just like, it's babies.
Yes, and I love them so much.
Yeah.
So much.
I cried a little bit.
So yeah, if you couldn't tell, they are my Once Upon a Time OTP, because, of course. Any other ships?
You know what it's interesting that you haven't mentioned is Emma and Neil.
I don't like Neil.
You don't like Neil?
I liked Neil until I knew he was Balefire.
I mean, I saw it coming.
Like,
I was like,
I knew it was good.
There's a son.
Like,
it's gonna be
when
him.
I first met, when we first met Neil, and he was like it was like a flashback episode, and it was just him and Emma. They were just like on the run, being criminals, I guess, and that I loved that. And then the whole August thing happened, and then I was just like, no, this has gone too far now. I just wanted him to just be just a normal. Can we just have a normal guy, please?
Not allowed.
Yeah. Can we just do an honorary shout out to, because we talk a lot about relationships, we don't talk about friendship goals, and Emma and August are friendship goals.
Oh, absolutely.
Or Pinocchio for those
yeah.
of you keeping score. So yeah, Pinocchio and Emma is actual really good friendship goals, and I was a bit unsure about that because they started off a bit relationshipy, but they worked it out. It was all good.
Yeah. I was worried that they were going to shoehorn in another relationship there, and I was like, please don't. And
well,
because
we had Emma and Mr. Huntsman, 50 Shades, Jamie Dornan.
Yeah.
Who
is also a whole man,
yes,
but not as much as Killian Jones.
And
because, look, I am aware that he's 39, but also.
Are there any other ships that we need to mention?
I would like to touch on very briefly Zelina and Hades.
Interesting, yes.
Because that was fucked up on so many levels.
Well, you say that. See, at the start, I was kind of on board with it. At like the beginning,
Same.
I was like, "Oh yeah, that makes total sense." Yeah. And then it just went off the rails.
Exactly. Like, I would have been 100% down for it, and I was initially, and then it just got so fucked up so quick, and I was like, fuck you, Hades. My girl Zelina, she deserves better than you.
Yeah. Definitely. Something I want to touch upon, and I think I've touched upon this in passing. This show, everyone is related. It's not even funny. Like, it's actually ridiculous. Okay, so, like, off the top of my head, you have Rumpelstiltskin, who was with what's her face, Mila. There we go. Who ran off with Captain Hook. Then Rumpelstiltskin had a son with Mila, who is Bellfire, who had a child with Emma, who ended up marrying Hook. And then Henry ends up with Cinderella.
Yes.
And has a child.
Cinderella.
Other Cinderella. And then we have Snow and Charming. And then Regina is Snow's adopted mother and Emma's child's adopted mother.
Yes.
And then we have then she dates Robin, and Robin has a child with Zelina
by accident.
Who then this is the kicker, who then is with Alice, who is alternate universe Hook's and Mother Gothel's child. Yes.
Mother Gothel, who is a wood nymph
Yes.
in this universe, which interesting take. I was like,
Yeah.
that is batshit crazy, but I love it.
And just to round it off, Rumpelstiltskin's father is Peter Pan and mother is the Black Fairy. And we
Yeah.
have checkmate.
Yeah. Did we miss anyone else?
I think I
don't-
covered
don't-
most
I
of
don't
them.
think so.
Aside from, various other... Like, I missed out Baby Neil. Like, Snow and Charming have another baby.
Yeah, and they called him Neil.
Also,
after,
let's also
yeah.
clarify that Rumpelstiltskin is looks like 60, but is actually like the oldest person in it, except he's not, because Peter Pan is, but Peter Pan looks like 12. And then Emma and her mother are the same age, and then oh, it's a disaster. But it's fine. It's okay.
Yeah,
It makes sense.
Don't even, if you ever end up in a conversation with someone about Once Upon a Time and they haven't watched the show, just don't with the timelines. Just don't.
Also, if I remember correctly, Emma and Hook have a child as well, who is
They do, called
yes,
Hope.
who is technically half sister to Alice. Technically, because
I guess
biologically.
I guess I get.
Because it's confusing. And also, I just want to point out, there are two Henrys as well. There is Henry,
Oh yeah.
and then they got brought back in time. So there's also old Henry at the same time. So there's also
There's
also Robin, normal Robin age, like girl Robin age, but also baby Robin in the same time.
because nothing makes sense.
Because time travel that's never properly
Time
explained,
travel.
but it's fine.
Like they were just like, back in time, so we don't have to drag the cast from seasons 1 through 6 into season 7 because clearly they don't want to.
I
be
know
in it.
who we forgot. We forgot Merlin and Thingy.
Oh God. Begins with an N.
Yeah.
No. Can't
Yeah.
remember.
Anyway,
Back.
Evil Dark One and Merlin, which is just a toxic
Yeah.
relationship.
Oh yeah, so many levels of bad.
And I also just want to do a shout out to Henry and what's her face from Camelot? What was her name?
Oh,
Violet, because they were adorable and that was really cute.
They were.
And I really like that they didn't carry that on. They just went, oh, this was the first girl he loved, and then he moved on and got with someone else, and that's fine. Not
That's
everything
how
is a
it
fairy tale.
Yeah, which is nice. I think that's like a good way of doing things.
Yeah, so that's characters.
We're actually going to continue on characters for just a second because I want to talk about the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde kind
Ooh.
of thing that happened in season 6.
The double Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, because they do 2 stories of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde at the same time, but with different characters. Yeah. Would you like to explain this?
Not really, but I'll try. So...
Okay, I'll jump in.
You
right.
have... Okay.
So,
Okay, go on.
Dr.
go
Jekyll and Mr. Hyde exists on in the land of untold stories, which is basically where a bunch of characters have ended up. And they are... In Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, they're 2 separate things in this. Sometimes it's implied in some stories of it that like they're the same person, but in this they're like very distinctly 2 separate things. Like there's different actors. It's more like it's been put in, all the evil has been put into another person. It just occupies the same space, kind of thing. And
and I mean,
yeah,
initially that they are actually one person. They're just kind of shape shifting between the 2 of them.
Yeah.
But then they split later on.
But the killer thing that happens is they do this same thing to Regina to end up with Regina and the Evil Queen as two separate.
Which I thought was genius.
I mean, it's
like-
really good. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
But I was kind of sitting there like, shouldn't the Evil Queen just basically be gone by now? Like, there shouldn't be much Evil Queen left.
Well, you say that, but like, she has spent almost a full lifetime being a horrible person. Do you really think just a couple of years of being good, TM, is really going to get rid of like that inner little voice being like, kill the ball?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so that's a story arc that happens. And by the way, the people who haven't seen this, the guy who plays Mr. Hyde voices Darth Maul in the Clone Wars, and it is. He's also in Supergirl, but that's unimportant. And so whenever he talks, I just hear Darth Maul, and I'm like, "Oh, that's terrifying. Help."
So I realised a thing about myself while watching this, which is, so I have an ongoing question about my sexuality, right? This has been a long-running thing. And every time I watch something like this, I'm like, but men in Victorian dress with deep voices.
It's just a good suit. That's the answer.
Maybe.
It's you know.
Maybe I am like pansexual as opposed to just a straight lesbian.
But yeah, so.
But yeah.
That's the story arc that happens. Whatever.
I know what it is. It's the cravat.
There's nothing finer than a fine cravat, except
There is nothing sexier than a good
except
cravat.
a girl who can notice a good cravat.
Yeah.
Quote
Oh
from
my
How I
God.
Met Your Mother. Go watch it. Anyway.
Oh. Maybe.
I think we've reached that episode. I feel like we're there. Are we there? The episode. That episode.
Which one? There's a couple. There's a couple
Well,
that could come under
sorry.
that.
That episode. That comes out. Okay.
Which season?
I'm gonna stop messing around. It's the musical episode.
Yeah, stop vaguing. Which one? Oh, the musical episode.
Which
Right.
comes out of nowhere.
Okay, so fun fact about this is, so Tommy texted me some point a couple weeks ago, like, have you gotten to episode 20 yet? And I was like, episode 20? And he's like, episode 20 of season 6, because I was on season 6, and I was like, I don't think so, no, I'm on episode 14. He's like, okay,
You'll know.
You'll know.
You'll know.
And I was like, what do you mean I'll know? And I kind of like looked at the description, and I was like, that's not too big of a thing. I mean, it's like a thing, because they're wrapping up the season, but like, also...
Then it starts.
And then finished episode 19, had Netflix on, like autoplay, because I'm sitting there binge watching disgusting crumbs everywhere, you know how you'll binge watch, and they start singing, and I think I texted you at that point, just screaming, because what?
Okay, so around that time when that episode came out, there was this fad around TV shows having musical episodes. The Flash did it. It's kind of okay.
Riverdale do it.
No, Riverdale do it every year. That's not a thing.
Oh.
They should do it every year.
Oh, okay.
Although this might have started it, I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So it was kind of like the hip thing to do, is like a musical episode. But this one is different to like the Riverdale ones and most of the Flash one, because all the songs are original.
Yes.
Which works in its favour.
I did appreciate that they wrote their own
It works
song.
in their favour, because trying to shoehorn in... I often don't like when people try to shoehorn songs into a story.
Yeah.
Because it's not generally done that good. Riverdale doesn't do it very well. Mamma Mia 2's okay at it. Mamma Mia 1's a bit hit and miss.
We've talked about this.
Go watch that other episode, everyone. And And Rocket Man did it really good, Bohemian Rhapsody really good. But this does really good because it's actually just they wrote the songs for the story, which I think is better.
Yeah.
So let's run down the songs. So we start off with there is a song sung by Snow and Charming.
That is the most annoying ass song I've ever heard in my life.
It's awful. And then
I just they have lovely singing voices. I appreciate that they're like the good guys, but like, guys, shut the fuck up.
And then we have one of my favourite of them, I think my second favourite of them, which is the Evil Queen song.
Okay. I love the actress playing Regina.
She's,
I love her to bits. But my girl, I don't know what they decided, like, why they got her to sing in that key, but I feel like it's just...
so
either she's not a singer...
I don't think she can sing, because I have watched her do that song live, like at a conference or like an event, and she wasn't really singing it. She was kind of like just hyping up the audience, like singing enough and then getting them to finish. I don't think she can sing.
No, I don't think she can.
But the song,
is
really good. Just like,
oh yeah, the song's fantastic. The actress can't sing.
And even though she can't sing, her performance, like, I don't know what, like the choreography.
Yes.
I guess is it choreography?
Oh,
like
yes.
just the sass and the power. It's just, so good.
Like, you know, the singing was lacking, but the facial expression, the movement, like, I don't know how to explain this other than like the movement I'm doing, and obviously you can't see that, but I'm sort of like sitting up and like putting my shoulders back a bit, you know, like the
one thing I would say
kind of
is
pose. I don't know.
the actor who plays Regina, I can't remember her name. She got a lot better at playing the evil queen as the seasons go on. So whenever we cut back to when she's the evil queen, it's really good. Then we have, I believe, then we had Hook's song.
Character.
Which was pretty good. I was into it.
Yes.
I wasn't sure about his singing. I was kind of like,
I mean,
it wasn't
I think
the
his
worst.
singing was okay. I just
singing.
They went very
They
strong
went
on the pirate
so
vibe
strong.
there. And I know they were going strong on the pirate vibe in general, but also like you could turn it down like ever, like just dial it back to 11, you know? Come on, guys. We don't...
And he also sings a little bit in one of the later episodes as well, which is pretty cool. But then we have the best song, in my opinion, which is the Wicked Witch of the West song.
Yes.
And it's my favourite, and I love it. It's the only one that felt to me like one of those... It felt to me like it could be a song out of The Wizard of Oz. That's the thing.
It did give me very Wicked vibes.
I haven't heard the Wicked soundtrack, so I can't comment.
You should, it's really good.
But I imagine it's very deliberately so. like I feel like they themed everything around the characters. So obviously Hooks is very piratey themed, and then
I'd like to mention,
Regina's.
So Hook's song has like a yo-ho in it, and every time that came up, I was like, "You are a pirate," and I.
Yes. And then Regina's is like a goth pop song. I guess
rock pop.
the only thing I can compare it to is something like it sounds like something from Six. That's what it sounds like.
It's a rock musical song. It's a very specific genre.
Yeah.
But
that's really good.
You're looking at musicals like, weirdly enough, We Will Rock You and Six. That kind of style of, it's a rock musical.
Yeah. Yeah. So then we've got the Wicked Witch of the West, which I think is just. Also, I love the fact that in that sequence, she just flies around on the broomstick and doesn't really go anywhere. She just flies around like as if she was on a stage.
Yeah.
And flying around. It's so good. And then there's 2 songs left. There's one which is they do like an evil queen versus the Charmings, and it is
kind of a mess.
So upsetting.
Yeah.
Because like the Charming's bit is stupid, but Regina's bit is so good.
And like you could have gotten it to like harmonize or something, because that would have been really cool. Or like deliberate unharmonies, but no, it's just like you're playing 2 songs over each other, and I don't like that.
Yeah. And then we have Emma's song, which is fine.
Yeah, it's just kind of sweet. You're like, oh, babe.
Because I also don't think that Jennifer Morris, is that her name?
Yeah.
I think so. I don't think she really sings either. So, it seems like they just force singing on them.
Yeah, I get the feeling that, like, the writers were like, what would be really good is if we got all of them singing, and then no one...
Except the only person that can sing is Selena.
Yeah, but...
Because she has, like, a proper, like, good voice.
Yeah, like, she has a proper belty voice, and I'm here for that.
Yes.
But
yeah, it's a fun episode. Like, I just remember just going, this is so unexpected. What do I do? How do I process this? What do I do?
So, a thing I ended up thinking a lot is they could have ended it after season 3. They could have ended at season 3, and I would have been very happy. And then seasons 4 through 6 happened. I was like, you can end at season 6.
Sorry, what's the end of season 3? I've lost track of which season is which.
The end of season 3 is when I'm pretty sure, all of the darkness gets sucked into the dagger. But they don't know this.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, is this before or after Dark Swan?
This is after Dark Swan, I think. Hold on.
I have no idea. Because I know the start of season 3 is Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Isn't it? And that is... Oh, Peter Pan is so good in this.
Yeah.
He's one of my favourite characters. Probably my second favourite character. Peter Pan.
Wait,
and
no,
considering,
it's not the end of season...
the kid actor.
It's not the end of season 3. Give me a second.
Oh.
Because the end of season 3 is...
I'm just going to ramble about Peter Pan.
Yeah, go on.
So... Peter Pan is played, because he's meant to be a child, he's played obviously by a child actor. The actor's probably, 15, 16?
Yeah.
And he's somehow playing, like, an 800-year-old man.
He does really well.
And you can tell. It's so good. And just, I can just not get over how funny it is. Like, one is when he's talking to Rumpelstiltskin, and he's like... Oh, I'm your father, son, what are you doing? And it's like, oh my god. And 2 is when he's just, like, commanding the room, and all these adults are, like, towering over him, but he's, like, in charge, and he's like, you can't stop me. And it's like, we could step on you.
Yeah.
It's great. And 3 is when he shows up in hell, and he has, like, a little Mr. Gold suit. And it's like... Yes. All you need is a good suit to rule the underworld. True, that's a fact.
What the fuck? I'm trying to like find where I'm like looking for, and I just can't find it. Ah. Why are there so many episodes?
Yeah, so season 3, the end of season 3 was the Wicked Witch story. That was the end of season 3.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to find it now.
Oh, and it's the one where Emma and Hook go back in time.
Yeah, that's not the one I was talking about.
That's the end of it.
That is.
That's it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I was talking about. Regardless, I still think it
We'll
should have.
edit it out. It's
I.
fine.
It's not that simple, but okay. I mean, I liked season 7, and I'm glad that they made a season 7 because Alice and Robin.
It's just weird.
But also, I
It's
really
really
feel like
weird.
they could have stopped at season 6. They could have stopped.
Do you know what I did actually really like from season 7? As weird as it is, I really like that regardless of magic or anything, even when magic's taken away, you can still, the connection between Hook and his daughter Alice, it's like, you can tell even through the curse.
Yeah.
And that's really good.
Yeah, it's
that's
just really sweet, and I like Alice.
Mm.
I really liked the characterization of Alice.
Yeah, while we're here, we've got to talk about the finale,
Yeah.
which is bonkers.
Kind of made sense,
So-
though.
Evil alternate universe Rumpel is teamed up with evil alternate universe Henry.
Yeah, who isn't really evil as much as he's just lonely.
Yeah.
He's
And
just an angsty teen boy, let's be honest.
it's just a bunch of shenanigans to do that.
Yeah.
And it ends with one of the weirdest things I think I've ever seen. Like, okay, so let's explain. So the way they win and it ends is Rumpelstiltskin from the main universe takes his heart out, which kills evil Rumpelstiltskin, and he puts the heart into Hook so that Hook can be with his daughter because him and his daughter are cursed.
Yes.
And they act like it's this whole like ending of a blood feud, but like those are different characters. Like the like alternate universe Hook has an issue with that Rumpelstiltskin, not our universe Rumpelstiltskin, because our universe Rumpelstiltskin has already made peace with Hook.
Yeah, but also it's like
And it's like,
No,
you're the
it's
closest thing I
because
have to a friend.
the
It's
other-
like, no, you're not.
the other universe Rumpelstiltskin dies when our Rumpel like tears out his heart. So it's a bit
Yes.
like,
No,
it
but
is-
earlier on in the snow, he's like, you're the closest thing I have to a friend. And it's like, no, you barely know each other. You met like a week ago.
haven't they been like working together for several months at that point?
In the real world, yeah,
Yeah, but you
they
have
met
to-
like a week ago in there.
Look, you have to go on the presumption that, like, up until the point of the curse, the two realities are basically the same. They just forked at the curse. Like, that's what happened. So
Yeah,
they
it's just
had the
I'm
feud.
just sitting here like I'm just sitting here like they had the feud, but Al Rumpelstiltskin has already made peace with Hook. We've seen that happen. Hell, our Rumpelstiltskin has gone to hell to get Hook before.
well, yeah, but not with that Hook.
It's different, but he doesn't know that Hook.
Yeah, well,
They only met by chance.
they did meet. That's the point.
They just happened to be cursed together.
Yeah, they happen to be cursed together. That's just how it is.
Oh, it just
And-
doesn't. I just don't I don't understand the wish realm. I think I just
Yeah,
don't
I
understand it.
Yeah,
So
I think that's what this is, babe.
it doesn't even make sense. Also, wasn't there? I don't get. It doesn't.
Look, the Wish
Doesn't
Realm
make
was a
sense.
bit. Yeah, let's not talk about the Wish
So the
Realm.
wish realm is a realm that was created when Emma wished for a childhood, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And in that universe, all the characters got taken into that only Emma got taken into that universe.
Yeah.
And Regina.
Regina
'Cause
wished
she
herself
killed-
there.
Yeah, because she killed Snow and Charming, and that's where evil Henry comes from.
Yeah.
But didn't they send evil Regina, who actually turned good, to that realm?
Yeah, they did.
So
then
is that
she-
the Regina that's...
I don't.
Exactly. That's exactly the. See what I mean? It's a mess.
I get the feeling that someone like mentioned it in the writing room. Everyone else was like, "You what?" And they're like, "Don't question it. Don't question it. It's just a really handy
Like
plot
this
device."
because this Henry is because this Henry phones our world Henry,
No, he doesn't.
who's with Regina. He does.
Does he?
Henry, future Henry, phones real world Henry. Because remember, they all got taken back in time.
Yeah, but it's the same. It's not. That's not Curse Henry. There. Okay, so the grown-up Henry is not the Wish Realm Henry.
No, exactly.
So,
but maybe it is.
It's not. It's not. It's the same Henry that we've watched seasons 1 through 6.
Because they were in the Wish Realm.
They weren't
for
in the
like
Wish Realm.
all the
They were in a
flashbacks of
different
season
Wish
7.
Realm. They
Oh.
They were in a different realm at that point. That wasn't the Wish Realm.
Help.
I feel like I need to like draw
and
a fucking diagram.
And then Rumpel showed up from another realm where time moves differently.
Yeah.
And Gideon went to school there somehow.
Yeah.
But didn't age at all. Oh no, wait, he did.
He did.
Because they rebooted him, didn't they?
Yeah, because they completely rebooted him because he like was a baby and they were like, "Oh yeah, Gideon's a baby now." And then
Rumpel was like, "I've lived that my whole life." And they were like, "You were gone 5 seconds." It's like, I know. Oh my god, I need a diagram.
I feel like you do.
Help.
I'll draw you a diagram. I'll send it over.
We are by no means saying that Once Upon a Time is a coherent and consistent show.
Or even good most of the time. Like, don't get me wrong, it's fantastic. I love it on so many levels, but also
It's really
like
good.
It's trash.
I mean, sometimes there's a wish realm, sometimes there's a whole realm hidden inside a
Fucking book.
bottle or something. Was Agrabah in a bottle or something? That happened.
There was a ship in a bottle.
Oh yeah, there was a ship in a bottle, but Agrabah was also trapped in something, wasn't it?
And that? Oh yeah, in a ring.
Yeah. Oh, in a ring. There you go.
Yeah, in a ring.
Sometimes the realms are ring, and then they all got merged together. And I'm sitting here like, did they also take the Wish realm?
I don't know.
And also, Future Henry wasn't at that ending.
Yeah, he was.
So where was Future Henry?
Yeah.
Did he just go and live in Seattle?
Maybe.
That's the only conclusion.
You know what I think it's time for?
Okay.
It's time for an Uno reverse.
Uno reverse?
Yeah, this week's Throwdown.
I have no idea what that means.
This week's Throwdown Throwdown is going to be hosted by yours truly as opposed to Tommy. Shock, horror, I know. So for those of you new to the show, I'm really sorry that this is the episode you've clicked on because, Jesus, we do not normally have, hour-long discussions about TV shows. Good God. So, Showdown Throwdown is where Tommy, usually, grabs some characters, throws them into a football field, and then asks me which one would win in a fight, or which one I'd rather date, or whose hair is the best. You know.
The important questions.
The important questions. This week, I've chosen some characters because
this is
and
gonna be...
I feel like we need to stick to the theme because why would I choose any other characters? Like, come on. So
I'm really scared.
I've got 3 for you. So the first one is, so we have Emma Swan, and very specifically Ronnie from the 7th season. So Cursed Regina. Put them you're gonna put them in a bar. You're gonna fill them both with alcohol. Who would win in a fist fight?
Ooh, okay. So Ronnie. First off, let's say she's the go-to assumption as to who would win. So she's a bartender. Clearly, she's done a lot of drinking in her day.
And day drinking.
She's got some yeah, and she's got some fierce tattoos, or had some fierce tattoos. I sense she's got some early 20s bar stories to tell.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's her. I imagine she's pretty good in a fight. She's probably had to get good. Like, I imagine she's probably had to throw some people out of her bar.
Yeah.
You've got to kind of be able. Okay, so that's her, and then Emma. See, because we've got no guns.
Yeah.
No swords.
And no magic.
It's
just a straight fist fight. They've both gotten drunk. Someone said something mean to the other. They're fighting.
I think there's a fight.
Well, obviously.
And then Ronnie is winning. But then they both realise that they've clearly both had rough childhoods.
Yeah.
And they end like all good bar drinking and fights. And they just get a good cry on.
They're like
just in the corner. They're like, they're like, they're drinking. They arrive at 9:00. They're drinking by 10. They're a bit pissed up at 11. And then at the stroke of midnight, a fight breaks out. By 2:00 in the morning, they are crying in a corner. That's what happens.
I feel like that's
exactly
how it would
what
happen.
happens. That is exactly what would happen. Because it takes a long time for Emma to like get emotional. She's not a very emotional person.
But then,
so I'm thinking alcohol, a fight, and then she'll be like, I had no parents. Ronnie's like, I had no parents either. And like, oh my god, I'm so sad.
And then they just both are crying in a corner like, oh my god, our childhood's made us who we are.
Oh my god, I got this tattoo once.
Yeah.
It's really bad. Well, all I have is this red leather jacket.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a cool jacket though. Yeah, but you tore it when you punched me.
Yeah.
Oh. That's exactly how that goes. Dialogue and all.
Absolutely. Okay. Next up.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Our
Help.
Prince Charming. Our dear, sweet Prince Charming.
Oh,
Fist fight again. Okay. Killian Jones.
Oh, is this Killian Jones or Captain Hook?
Oh, this is... That's a good question. For the sake of argument, let's do both, one after the other.
Okay. So
starting with Killian Jones.
Again, no swords, no magic.
Yeah.
Killian Jones wins the first one.
Oh.
Because Prince Charming doesn't actually know how to fight.
Oh.
He just lucks his way through it. He wasn't actually taught how to fight. He just kind of lucks his way through everything. If you actually watch the show, he doesn't fight people. He talks his way out of it.
He barely ever fights anyone, yeah.
Because he hasn't actually learned how to fight because he's a farmer. If you asked me who was gonna raise some pigs better, it'd be Prince Charming. And as for Captain Hook, well, that's obviously going to be Captain Hook because he's just going to stab him with the hook. Like,
or clonk him over the head with the hook.
But I have to assume that actually they wouldn't go that way. I assume that this is a fight for Prince Charming's approval so that Hook can marry Emma.
Okay. That's
my assumption. And I think it would actually be more like a training, like a sparring session.
Okay.
Like a kind of Hook swinging, and the Charmer's like, "Is that all you got? You don't deserve my daughter. Come at me," you know. And eventually, Hook gets the upper hand, it's not a fatal blow, but it's kind of like one of those, when like someone wins in a fight and then they do the tapping thing, like the 3 taps.
Yeah.
It's like that, and then they shake hands, and they're like, we've got a wedding to plan. And they never argue again, except on the colour theme for the wedding.
Which, I mean, the colour theme for the wedding was quite good, so... We have
It's
one
canon
more.
now.
We have one more, and it's a little bit of a different one. So,
Oh dear, okay.
who was better with Regina? The Huntsman or Robin?
Robin, hands down. So, Huntsman, I don't like him.
Oh.
I think he is a bit all over the place as a character, to be honest. I don't think it's, when someone's a bit inconsistent, it's not the best thing. Whereas Robin, he was consistent. He is stability. He is a stable post, and Regina is a dog leashed up to it.
Yikes.
And just Regina can run around in circles, but that post is keeping her there.
Yeah. She's not going
That's
anywhere.
Robin. That's Robin.
Okay.
And I think that's good for her.
Yeah.
And I just feel like if it was the Huntsman, it's like leashing a dog to a stick. It's just not going to work.
You're just going to have a dog with a stick attached.
You need him, and you know what? You turn to him and you realise, actually, no, I want that stick. That's my stick. So you just chase it around in circles. This metaphor is getting better by the second. You chase it around in circles, going, I want this. But the stick keeps moving because the stick doesn't stay in any place for stable long enough.
Yeah. Okay.
That's an accurate summary of season 1. Regina's a dog and the Huntsman is a stick.
Okay. Sure, why not?
It's canon now.
Oh my god. Oh dear. Okay, that's all I had for
Right.
yeah.
I'm glad to see that you just have nothing to say.
Yeah, I don't know, something about that metaphor just really got to me. I don't know, man.
Okay, so like sometimes I say stuff and I just hope there's going to be something at the end, like when I finish talking. That was one of those moments. I just started and I hoped there was going to be something.
Okay, just before we wrap up, because this is running a little over our time budget here. Have you been watching or doing anything else this week?
Okay, so I think I'll talk about one of the shows that I've watched, and I'll save the other show for another week. I want to talk about Alex Rider because it's on Amazon Prime, and it's fantastic.
Okay.
Really good show. It's a good adaptation of the book that it's based on. For some reason, they're doing a season a book, which is a bit strange, but
I mean,
anyway,
people do that.
Whatever they want to do, and it's really nice. They've adapted it. It's not the same as the book. It's a different experience. Yeah, some of the things I don't like. Some of the changes I do like. Some of the changes. It's it's what I would consider a good adaptation. Not a fantastic adaptation, but it not being a fantastic adaptation doesn't hinder how good the show is, because the show is brilliant.
Yeah.
And just because I want to annoy as many people as possible, the title sequence drives me insane because in certain episodes, the names on the title sequence appear like a few seconds later for no reason.
Oh.
It drives me. I've synced. You know what? I'm gonna put it on the Instagram. I have taken a video and I've put all 8 of the episodes' title sequences side by side, and it is insane.
Why would you?
That's all I had to say.
Why would you change the title sequence? Like, surely it's less effort to not change the title sequence.
It's really strange. Other than that, the show is really good. It's amazing. Would recommend people watch it. It's only 8 episodes, so it's not even that long.
I mean, I accidentally paid for Amazon Prime this month, so
go watch Alex Rider.
Maybe I'll go watch it.
In fact, actually, both shows I was going to talk about are both on Amazon Prime. So
Okay.
great. What about you? Have you watched anything other than Once Upon a Time?
I actually ended up watching The Babysitters Club.
Oh, okay.
Which is... There's only one season of it. It's on Netflix.
Is that similar to The Breakfast Club but in the evenings?
No. Not at all.
Okay.
Oh my god, not at all. It's based on the Babysitter Club books. And it centers around a group of, I think it's like somewhere between 11 and 13-year-old girls. And I felt a little bit weird watching something that is very obviously aimed at, preteens. But also, the representation is really good. And it's done in, a kid-friendly way. And, it's actually a really sweet show. I think it's very nice. It's not overly cringy. It's actually really sweet, and I would very much recommend it. Yeah.
Nice.
And with that, if we start going back to Once Upon a Time, we are going to be here until 10 p.m. And I need to sleep at some point. So I think that's all we have time for this evening.
Yep. We will see you all next week or whenever we decide to make another one of these.
Yep. All right.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.